Hello, Merry Christmas and welcome to the Feck TV Sports Show. Joining me today is the man that's usually behind the camera. It's our own Brucey. Welcome to the show, Brucey.
George, thanks very much.
We're going to chat today about the highs and lows of 2012. Brucey, coming to you, can you name a couple of your highs or your lows?
I suppose the big, from an Irish point of view, the big one was Katie Taylor in the Olympics. Well, and the boxers in general, really, but I think in particular Katie, it was something like you don't see sporting memories come along very often like that, you know. And when she took gold, the noise, I think the fans broke the noise decibel level world record or something in the stadium that day.
She had fantastic support.
Yeah, it was class.
She definitely did everyone proud, and for a girl in boxing as well, you know, something that you really wouldn't expect. Was it
male?
Yeah, it's got popular recently. Yeah. And John Joe Nevin done well, the boxers done well in general. Seems to be the boxers always do well for Ireland, doesn't it? In the Olympics, it seems to be our kind of medal hopes most of the time.
It does. Well, I think there's a lot of effort put into underage boxing in the country as well, you know. And I know there is in other sports, but it seems to be the training seems to be harder. There's more focus and emphasis on it, you know.
But the Olympics really was a success in England.
Yeah.
It seemed to be probably one of the best. They're comparing it to the Sydney's Olympics in 2000.
Well, even anything like the opening ceremony and everything like that was out of this world, you know.
They definitely blew everyone away, didn't they? And the medal counts, you know, they had their superstar there, which kind of made it the occasion for the English, and Bradley Wiggins getting the gold. And no, there definitely was a high anyway, the Olympics, and it went without incident, which probably was the main thing, which was a concern to everyone in England at the time with the terrorism and the whole lot, so everyone went well. What else would you think? Would you think about Donegal and here?
Donegal at home, Donegal
from you.
No. It was great to see. Great to see anything come up to the west or the northwest. You know, it's Sligo Rovers winning the league there as well.
Yes, Sligo. Yeah.
You know, so it was a good year for the northwest. But Donegal were fantastic.
A lot of people saying they were negative play, kind of a counter.
I think they were the year before, but I don't think they were in this year's All Ireland. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. Jim McGuinness I think he's something special. I know he's gone to Celtic now, but he's still the coach. But he knows his stuff, and he seems to got the players in right order, you know.
We had Paddy Cassan in a few weeks ago. We were asking him, like, why can't they break them down? Like, they just have no answers for them at the minute, do they?
Well, but someone will come along with an answer to it as well. But that's the whole thing. It's evolving all the time. So, isn't it great to see something like the GAA changing a little bit as well and evolving? Because I wouldn't be the biggest fan in the world of GAA, so it's nice. I just think it's boring, to be honest with you, you know.
Yeah.
So I found Donegal a bit of what people say they're negative. I found them a bit of a breath of fresh air to it as well.
A lot of people are saying they're going to change the rules in the GAA now next year to try and make it more attractive for people to come in and watch it.
More than the rules they want to change, but anyway, and change them jerseys as well.
When Kilkenny were back to their normal selves, winning the All Ireland,
Yeah.
Henry Shefflin is just probably the greatest hurler ever, really, now, isn't he?
Amazing. You nearly get sick of them winning all. I know that there was a couple of blip years there, but you nearly get sick of them winning it all the time, you know.
Looking at the soccer side, you're speaking about Sligo, but Man City won the league on the final day, the last few seconds. That was an amazing finish to the league, wasn't it?
When I watched it, like, I obviously watched the last game of the season, and I wouldn't be a United fan or a City fan, a Spurs actually, from my troubles, but I was even excited by the finish. You couldn't write that stuff. Just couldn't write it.
It was nice to see it happen to Man United for a change, isn't it?
As well.
Get stuck.
Usually in the last few minutes it's them that win everything, you know. So
I know you're a big follower of the Spanish football. Real Madrid had a fantastic season.
Yeah, the record on points and goals scored, wasn't it?
Do you think there's a big difference between the Premier League and the Liga?
I do. I personally do. Okay, the top 4 or 5 teams in the Premiership. You've got your Man Cities, United, Arsenal, Chelsea. But after that, I don't rate the Premier League much at all, you know. I always say, like, if you had a choice between watching Osasuna and Levante or West Brom and
Norwich,
Wigan or Reading, or, you know, I know which one I'd be choosing to watch. It's just the fluidity of the football, skills on show. It's a more attractive package. Well, Sky have built the Premier League to be the package that it is as well, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you feel about Chelsea then win the Champions League? People were saying the same as Donegal, really. They were a bit negative.
But it was negative.
Yeah,
it was like park the bus kind of job, you know.
They did well though, considering, and then one of the lows is probably the sacking of Di Matteo after beating winning the FA Cup.
I think in the last few days he won Manager of the Year.
It's amazing, isn't it?
But that's just Abramovich. He treats it like a toy. It's not a football club to him. That's the problem with a lot of the foreign owners. They're pumping money into something as a play thing. Whereas, you know, it must be really frustrating to be a fan of a club like that. I know it's great if you win something like that, but you know, to see a manager who's a part of the club big time, who won leagues with them and played with them for a long time, you know, and the fans are a big fan of, to see him just sacked like that for a bad run of games, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Probably a high in Ireland or in the UK, depends on which way you look at it, was Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, I don't think Rory doesn't seem to know if he's Irish or
No,
British, you know.
He's a bit of struggling a little bit there, isn't he?
But he was that politics aside, like he's a fantastic golfer, and I think he's just going to go on to much bigger and better things, you know. What age is he? He's
22, I think they were saying.
Jesus, it's frightening, you know, to what he can achieve in the future.
22 or 23, I think.
Yeah.
But the Ryder Cup was a fantastic occasion.
It was.
Another great comeback. It's been a year really of comebacks.
Yeah.
In a way. Did you watch it?
Well, I watched bits of it. I think just the comebacks are more exciting. You'd remember that Ryder Cup more than if Europe had just walked it all the way through, you know. Everybody loves to feel like they're down and see someone coming back up.
Your man Ian Poulter really was inspirational, and even though he's an English lad and we don't give the English much praise sometimes, but he really started off.
He wears a fine pair of trousers as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got great. his dress sense is
it's
up there with yours.
It's like yours, George.
Another massive high and a little bit of a low was the horse Frankel. There says the greatest racehorse ever.
Yeah.
But they retired him for stud now. He won 14 races out of 14 and on the top grade racing. It's an amazing record for a horse.
Yeah.
People, they were saying like he brought I think it was about 20,000 people to Ascot just to see him race. Like, so it was just amazing that a racehorse could have that attention from the public.
It's a shame it's only 14, you know. There's not more races.
I don't know. Like, why did they retire him? Like, why can't he keep going? But
he just wanted to get retired to stud. It doesn't sound like a bad idea either, does it?
It's $100,000 to go off him.
Is it?
Yeah.
You do? Have you got $100,000?
That was you a few years ago, $100,000 to go. But what about Leinster then? Leinster winning the rugby again.
It's a high and a low year for them because they won the Heineken Cup, but they don't seem to be firing on all cylinders at the moment at all, you know.
No, they're definitely struggling. They're going to struggle to get out of their group, it looks like now.
Yeah.
But still, they've got 3 Heineken Cups in the last 4 years.
That's been fantastic.
Some
Even the last decade has been great for them, you know. Even for Irish, I think Irish rugby in general. Maybe the last few seasons, okay, the Heineken Cup success, but the whole buzz around Irish rugby has kind of died off a little bit. But Connacht and Ulster have been the kind of plus side for rugby this year as well, or for this season. They're doing really well. Connacht beat, I think was it Biarritz last week?
Doing well, yeah.
And Ulster as well. Ulster is the only team with
Till last weekend.
Unbeaten record. They lost last weekend, that's right, yeah.
9-10 at home. But going on to the lows then, there's been a few lows this year.
Yeah.
Which one was the highlight for you?
The Euros has to be.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people it will be, won't it?
I think it's our own fault as well because we built it up. Like we've had quite a poor side. I suppose the side that Trapattoni was playing was a poor side more than what the players he had better players at his disposal. But it was just, I think everybody lost the run of themselves before the European Championships.
What do you think of Trapattoni?
Honestly,
yeah,
I think has a fantastic record in the past. He deserves respect, but he's past it and he needs to be got rid of.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go the usual. Oh, he's a prick. Get him out. Obviously, get him out. Yeah, but I wouldn't dismiss what he's done in the past. But you can't live on past glory. We
spoke to Shane Long and Kevin Doyle recently on the show, and they were very tight-lipped about him. They wouldn't leave much go.
They have to be, you know.
Yeah,
if they want to get a game, because it doesn't look like he's going to be gone anytime soon either.
Because I was speaking to Doyle, I kind of said to Doyle, you know, Doyle saved him in his job really a couple of times, and still like he leaves him out of the squad or like out of the team. You know, he's on the bench and.
But some of his selections just baffle you.
No, it's crazy going. But you know what I think? What happened to them in the Euros? I think the Croatia game. The first game came too early for them. You know, I think they underestimated Croatia because they're actually a very good team. And when they lost to them, then they were like struggling for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, but I think I don't think there was just balls or team spirit there. I don't know was it that from Trapattoni or what, but they seem to lie down like no Irish team ever lies down and takes it. And we basically bent over, you know, after that.
They looked lost, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Definitely. One of the major talking points this year, I think, in sport itself will be about Lance Armstrong. He's got done for eventually for drug cheating.
I suppose I thought of kind of a good argument of both. Basically, obviously anyone cheating, taking drugs in sport to enhance their performance is wrong. But on the other hand, from a human point of view, he's done a serious amount of work over the years for like cancer research and everything else. So although he should be hung out to dry for what he's done for cheating, he still has done a lot of good in the position. Okay, he got there by cheating, but when he got to that position, he did a lot of good for a lot of people as well.
It's funny you say that, because there's the good few of the cyclists have that opinion, because they're split 50-50. I know.
It's wrong.
Bradley Wiggins is very, saying it's not right, and Cavendish. But there's a couple of lads from Sky on the Sky team themselves came out and said, I kind of agree with Lance Armstrong. He's done a lot for people.
He's done a lot for cycling.
Yeah, and cycling in general.
Cycling would be fucked without him. Like who'd have an interest? Like what big name can anyone else name really in the last? Bar Bradley Wiggins in the last year, but like for cycling, I can't. In my generation, I don't think I remember. Looking at it from the outside, I don't think I know any other names or remember any other victories except for Lance Armstrong.
Do you think when, say, for instance, when Bradley Wiggins wins the Tour de France, that he, in the back of his mind, he's thinking people think he's on drugs, even though he's saying he's like the cleanest of them all and the sport's cleaned up more than ever? Because Cavendish says no, you can't get you can't get away with drugs in cycling anymore because everyone's on top of it.
I don't think they'll ever get rid of drugs out of cycling.
Do you not think so?
No.
Do you think it goes into other sports? Like GA, like for instance,
I look at some of them Ulster teams, man, and they have to be taking something. They're beasts,
Because I often think that, like, I've never seen drug tests in the GA. I'm not sure if they do or not, but when I play League of Ireland, I don't think I ever had one drug test in League of Ireland.
I think there's been a couple of players done, but a lot of it was I think there was a couple of guys done random tests, but they were done for like recreational drugs and stuff like that. I don't see it as a problem really in soccer, but in Gaelic, I know they train very hard, but some of them boys are just.
I often wonder how them rugby players. Sometimes I see their arms and they just look ridiculously big. I'm like, going, how are you getting your arms that big?
Yeah.
But maybe they are taking the right supplements and doing the weights. Like we can't say really here, but in your opinion,
you'd wonder.
Yeah, you'd wonder definitely. One of the main talking points really was the racism has seemed to really taken over everywhere at the minute. Yeah, whether it's in the soccer, it's even creeping into the GA at the minute. Something that you would never think would happen.
Well, I think in the last year it started. The big first high profile incident was either John Terry or in Serbia. Remember in the England under-21s played in Serbia.
Yeah, that's right.
They were getting monkey chants and whenever there was fights on the pitch. Then you had John Terry, Luis Suarez, Evra, and.
One of the things they say is that in that incident in Serbia, they got fined €35,000, and Bentner got fined €80,000 for showing Paddy Power's sign on his shorts when he scored a goal in the Euros.
That doesn't make sense,
So you wonder what kind of way they're trying to stamp it out, wouldn't you? What kind of indications if you're getting fined less than half?
Even coming from the crowd, there was a guy at a Chelsea game pictured making a monkey chant.
Yeah, and Swansea last week as well.
But he didn't even get banned from the club. They're not taking any further action. So like, you're not really sending out. They're not sending out really any big message that is going to be clamped down or people are going to get in serious trouble. Like John Terry travelled to the European Championships. The likes of Rio Ferdinand don't get.
Everyone seems to brush off John Terry, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
he gets away with
his teammates, misses, and everything else.
But in saying the racism in the GAA, I think there's a lot more cultures coming into Irish sport now. Over the years. So do you think the racism will kick off? Because mostly,
I think
hasn't been something.
I don't think so. I honestly think what happened in the to Darren Cunningham in the Ulster in the club final there. I think it was more just not a once off, but more a case as just a couple of simpletons, and not using their brains more than anything else. But I don't think the GAA as a whole is going to be affected too much by racism.
Yeah, great stuff. Another thing I know you played in the League of Ireland yourself.
Well,
a lot. Well, you played
kind of.
Yeah, we'll say you did anyway. You played 21s.
Yeah,
that's good enough.
21s, yeah.
But you played 21s for Sligo. If anyone's watching wants to know. But
Sligo Leitrim.
Leitrim.
Sligo Leitrim. Yeah. The 1 year that I think we were in it, we got to the cup final and beaten by Cork.
No doubt. My
team.
But Monaghan and Waterford, a lot of teams are struggling at the minute. Monaghan are gone.
Yeah,
Waterford look like they're going to go in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think the Monaghan was just made a farce of a lot of things in the league, because you're mid-season in the league, you've clubs dropping points because they've either drawn with them or whatever. They're they have to pull out of the league and everyone else gets 3 points, and it makes a bit of a joke of the league. Like, what league in the world do you know that you can qualify for the Champions League out of, and a team still pulls out because of financial trouble, you know?
There seems to be a thing now, but the players are really starting to struggle in the League of Ireland. Like, they don't get paid over Christmas, they all go on the dole over Christmas. Can't be right either, that, can it? No,
it's not, and I don't know. I think it stems back to bigger problems, and including the attitude of the ordinary man on the street towards the League of Ireland. Barstool it. People then, I wouldn't go and watch that shite, you know. But if the reason the standard probably isn't that good is because people don't come out and pay the money going into in the turnstiles, going in the gates. The more money that's put into it, the more money that can be used to improve facilities, better players. It's a whole different conversation in itself, you know.
People say that the FAI kind of see the Aircom League sometimes as a hindrance on them. Do you think that's a point? Because they don't really seem to have the back in the PFA, don't really have the players. They're just kind of hung out to dry a lot.
Yeah, they might see it as a hindrance. Yeah, but the way they treat it, sometimes they probably do see it as a hindrance. You know,
like even I think with managers in the past, they would always come watch the League of Ireland games, but like Trapattoni, like has no interest. He barely goes watches the games in England.
Which is a shame, because some of the players that he has called into the squad in England, there's a lot better in the League of Ireland at the moment.
Well, you know? 6 of them from the Oman team were from the League of Ireland in the last game, so it goes to show like there was talent coming from the league, but I suppose it's going to go back to the old days where it's going to be Tuesday night, Thursday night, and playing on a Friday.
There is some talent in there. I think the one kind of upside of the year was Sligo Rovers. I know I'm from Sligo myself, so I'll be a bit biased towards it, but I think that they're the kind of shining light of what a League of Ireland club should be like. The facilities are amazing up there now. They've some players signed up on 2-year contracts, which means obviously they're getting paid through the Christmas period.
They're just doing it right, aren't they? That's the thing.
And they're not spending huge money, and they're not making themselves into really bad, difficult situations financially. If they don't have the money, they don't spend it. You know, like Shamrock Rovers would be kind of the opposite side of things.
I know one thing that you love, the boxing. One of your lows in the boxing this year,
Ricky
Hatton.
I don't think he should have made a comeback. I think he's past it, and the punishment he's put his body through over the years, gone up and down, like ballooning up in weight. Like, he was going like 50, 60 pounds over his weight and trying to cut down for fights. Maybe when you're 23 or 24 you can do it, but at his age now, I think he was. He
obviously went through a few personal problems, and he just wanted to get over them and get back going.
He did, but I suppose there's other ways.
Maybe just give him a focus. Do you think?
Maybe it did, and maybe it'll stand by him from when he tries to go on with his promoting career now and his managerial career. But he could have picked a better opponent. Now, I know he's a ballsy character, and he just wanted to go back against someone decent. But like, he was the guy he was fighting was no mug either, you know.
Do you think Ricky Hatton's, the fans base that he had? Do you think he's lost a bit of respect with the fans now, or?
No, I don't think so. I think everyone kind of. Maybe they have a little bit of pity on him, because he's like the kind of has-been that's not quite, who tried to come back and just not quite done it. But no, I think he's getting a lot of respect. He's kind of he's a people's fighter, you know. Any
other boxers this year that's impressed you? About Carl Froch?
Carl Froch looks really good, yeah. Tyson Fury, and I was sorry to see Manny Pacquiao get knocked out the last day, even though a lot of people kind of were happy to see it happen, you know. But I think he's one of the best boxers, that's pound for pound boxers that's ever been around, you know.
So any tips for 2013?
I don't know.
Who do you think for the Premier League?
Premier League, can't see past United. Even though I don't rate them that great as a side, I can't see by them. It's been a poor enough league so far. You know, there's some great players in the Premier League.
GAA?
GAA, I'd love to see Donegal make it 2 in a row, but unless McGuinness is involved full time, I'm not sure that'll happen.
And no doubt it'll be between Kilkenny and Tipperary again for the hurling.
Yeah, and Sligo Rovers to win the league again 2 years in a row.
So that's it for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Those are highs and lows from 2012 and our tips for 2013. Like, thanks Brucey, come all the way over from Lanzarote for the show, and have a great Christmas. Thank you very much.
Cheers, George.